Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to give you guys 3 tips or 3 tactics for group riding and some things that I think can help you hang in there, especially if you're riding with a faster group, which we're all going to do from time to time. Now, the first tip I've got for you guys when it comes to group riding is stay on the wheels. This is something that a little bit tricky, especially when you're first starting out in group riding. I know when I first started out group riding with my team, Team Placid Planet, when I first started riding with those guys, up until that point, I had never, I did some riding, but I had never really done any fast group rides, so I wasn't really used to, the draft, how that worked, and just how close you have to stay to the wheels in front of you and be comfortable doing that. Otherwise, you're just increasing that toll that is taking on you when you drift back a little bit too far. And when I first started out, riding with the group, of course I was, I wasn't real comfortable riding in the group yet. I didn't understand all the dynamics, and of course I wanted to be safe. I didn't want to, either cause a crash for myself or for the other people I was riding with. So I was staying off the wheels, further than I should have been. And what I was doing the entire time, say there's, just say there's 10 people in your group, and you're kind of in there in the back and you're hanging, a few feet further off the wheels than you should be, you're not getting as much draft effect. And the whole time you're riding, the other 9 guys in the group are, if they're riding, the way they should be, and, in good tight formation and in a real good pace line with very minimal gaps in between the wheels, they're all conserving energy, and you're kind of sitting there in the back just kind of roasting on the fire, and sooner or later you're going to pop and you're going to get dropped. So, there's no way to just, the only way to get good at riding in a group and staying on the wheels is to ride in a group and stay on the wheels. And, obviously, want you guys to be safe out there, and that's always the most important thing. But, you do have to work on your skills, and the more you can work on your skills and get better at holding that close wheel in front of you, the better it's going to be for you, the more you're going to learn, the more energy you're going to conserve during the ride, and the stronger likelihood you're going to have of hanging in there with the group, enjoying the ride, and doing well. So staying on the wheels is kind of like the first thing you really have to learn in group riding, and you have to kind of master if you're going to be good at group rides and races. I mean, basically a race is nothing more than a big group ride, for a good portion of it. So mastering the art of staying on the wheels is super important, and that's my first tip that I've got for you guys. Okay, and the second tip I've got for you guys when it comes to group riding, and again, you're going to kind of have to know what your abilities are, but you need to, if you don't have the ability, stay off the front of the group. And again, this is something else I learned the hard way when I first got into riding, and as I was building fitness, is, I wanted to show the group that, I belong here, I can hang with you guys, you can't drop me, I'm as good as you guys are. And, I would kind of get duped into hanging out there in the front too long, and I would basically be burning a ton of matches and, roasting on the fire out there. And after, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 pulls of that accumulative toll takes on your body, and then sooner or later you end up getting dropped. So, and that goes for races too. A lot of guys, I see it a lot of times in races, guys will want to get out there early in the race and show the other guys, kind of who's boss in this race, and show them how strong they are. And a lot of times, those are the guys getting tailed off the back or not hanging on to the group because they're out there just kind of roasting in the fire, and sooner or later they pop. Now, if you can do that, and you can do that and hang in there, then that's great. Go up there and show guys how strong you are. But if you're doubting your abilities, or if you're not really sure, if you can hang on there or not, if you're in just a real good group, I recommend staying off the front as much as you can. You want to do your pulls, but you don't want to get carried away with it, and you don't want to over pull and basically fry yourself to further the group, because the group is going to end up tailing you off and you're not going to do well. And that goes for racing also. So like I said, nowadays a lot of times what I do is, when you're in a pace line and the guys are peeling off the front and you're kind of slowly working your way towards the front of the group. That's just the way the pace line dynamic works. And now all of a sudden it's your turn to be at the front of the group. If I get out there and I look at my power meter and the power's way up and I'm like, whoa, this is hot and heavy here, I am off the front immediately, rolling right back around to get back in the group. And you know what? I don't really care if people, think I'm being a weenie or whatever. I need to hang in there with the group, or I need to hang in there in the race, and I need to some degree, be selfish with my own energy in order to do that. So knowing when to play your cards is big in group riding and in racing, and knowing when to fold them is big. And oftentimes, more often than not, I'm the one folding them until key moments in the ride. So, but just in general, kind of knowing when to hang out front and knowing when to get off the front is super, super important to group riding. And it's something that I think everybody needs to get a good handle on. Okay, guys, and my last tip not the last tip, but the third tip I'm going to cover here for this video when it comes to group riding and racing, kind of the same thing here, is the importance of getting yourself into an aero position. Conserving energy is huge, and there's a lot of ways you can conserve energy. One would be step 2, staying off the front. That's a great way to save energy. But also there's ways that you can save energy within the pace line, or within the group. And that's simply getting yourself into a more aero tuck streamlined position. And this is something that I've been working on in my own cycling the past couple of years. I'm seeing good benefits with it. And there's a lot of times where I can, actually, take considerable breaks from pedaling within the group simply because I'm down low, tucked into my aero position, and I'm conserving energy. It's more efficient for me to draft in the group when I'm low and aero, and it's the more energy you save throughout the ride, the better you're going to be. And that's a blanket policy for any kind of group ride, for any kind of race. It's a lot of it comes down to how much energy can you conserve throughout the ride. And for me, I like to get down low, work on my aero tuck position. I will do that a lot when I'm out on my own training. I'll go out on a 2-3 hour ride and I'll try to spend as much time as I can working on my aero tuck position and staying low and getting efficient at riding in the group. So another big advantage to group riding and to conserving energy is to simply get away from this, more upright position where you're taking all that wind into your chest, into your head, and work on getting yourself lower, more streamlined back in the wind. And the more you do this in your own riding, the more comfortable you're going to be riding this way. And the more comfortable you are at riding that way, the more you're going to ride that way. And the more you ride that way, the more energy you're going to conserve, which is only going to help you when it comes to group riding. So there you have it, guys. 3 tips on group riding, and 3 tactics that you can use, that anybody can use to help improve their group riding ability and their odds at staying in there and hanging with either a fast group ride or a fast race. As always, guys, thanks for the support here in the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys right back here in the next video.